If I asked you to write an anime hero right now, what traits would you give them? Most of us would immediately think of the common shonen protagonist, someone who is determined, courageous, and possesses a relentless spirit. A character who's willing to drop everything and spring into action at a moment's notice. I bet most of us wouldn't picture someone who hesitates, has self-doubt, and struggles with insecurities. The type of character who doesn't rarely embrace their destiny and sometimes refuses the call to adventure. But that's where the reluctant hero comes into play. When written correctly, the reluctant hero resonates with us on a deeper level than that of a fearless hero. They showcase the internal battles and growth that comes from stepping into a role they never sought. Today, we're going to explore what makes a compelling reluctant hero and the pitfalls to avoid when creating one. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. When crafting a reluctant hero, the first thing to consider is their background and personality that contributes to their hesitation. Let's look at Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. Unlike many pure Saiyans who possess a natural desire for battle, Gohan is fundamentally different. He is peaceful by nature and honestly pretty pacifist-like by comparison. While it's fair to say that Gohan enjoys training, especially since that's when his dad spends the most time with him, he doesn't see the thrill in life and death battles. Even with his endless potential, Gohan would rather put his time into academics and studying. And I know what some of you guys are gonna say, that Chi-Chi forced Gohan to study and that he didn't really choose that life. But to be honest, I feel like the anime over-exaggerated how much of a tiger mom she could be and underplayed how much Gohan actually enjoyed studying. Just think about it. In times of peace, Gohan willingly chooses to devote his time to becoming a scholar rather than a powerful warrior. This usually comes back to bite him in the ass, but still. Even after marrying into a super rich family where he could theoretically spend all of his free time training and fighting, Gohan prefers to immerse himself in books. And then there's Tsuna from Hitman Reborn. Tsuna's story begins as that of a normal middle school kid who is suddenly thrust into a wild situation. His life takes a dramatic turn when he encounters Reborn, a walking talking baby who tells him that he's destined to become the head of the most powerful mafia family in the world. But you see, after being dubbed as no good Tsuna by his peers, Tsuna can't even begin to imagine himself in the role of a hero, let alone the boss of a powerful mafia family. After spending his life being bullied, ridiculed, and pretty much the biggest wimp in anime, it makes sense that Tsuna wouldn't want to put his life on the line to save others. He is actually in-universe ranked as the person most easily scared in the mafia world. It's clear that Tsuna's reluctance is deeply rooted in his lack of self-confidence. This leads into what I want to talk about next, the reasons why the audiences end up loving this type of character. The reluctant hero resonates deeply with audiences for two primary reasons. First is because of the emotional investment. When it comes to emotional investment, few stories do this better than Hitman Reborn. Spanning over 100 chapters, we witness Tsuna's evolution from a no-good coward to a charismatic leader worthy of heading the most powerful mafia family in the world. In the beginning of the story, Tsuna had to take a bullet straight to the dome and do a complete 180 in his personality before he could spring into action. He constantly had to rely on Reborn's special bullets in order to act on his good intentions. However, as the series progresses, Tsuna grows tremendously. Relying less and less on external factors, Tsuna learns to confront his enemies and protect his loved ones, even in his normal state. This transformation is incredibly satisfying for the audience as we spend countless arcs watching him gradually gain confidence and become the hero that Reborn always knew he could be. The second reason why the reluctant hero is so beloved is because of their relatability. While Tsuna's cowardice is super exaggerated for comedic effect, his character is still more relatable than a protagonist who fearlessly charges into danger. I'm sure most of us would think we'd be as brave as Luffy, but in reality, we would probably be more like Usopp. Like, could you imagine falling thousands of meters from the sky? And sure, maybe most of us don't like studying as much as Gohan, but consider someone like Jaden from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. All he wants to do is enjoy life and have fun dueling with his friends, not risking his life to save the world. But rather than chilling out with his crew in the schoolyard, Jaden has to duel against vampires and zombies. His reluctance to take on a more serious view on dueling and his desire to just enjoy life is what makes him so relatable. The next crucial element in writing a compelling, reluctant hero is providing them with the right type of motivation. This motivation can come from a variety of sources, both internal and external. Some heroes may be driven by the promise of wealth, others by the desire for revenge. However, the three characters we're focusing on this video are all primarily motivated by their sense to protect. Knowing the potential dangers that the incoming Saiyans can cause, or the havoc that the androids can wreak, Gohan forces himself to train and fight. His desire to protect Earth drives him to tap into his immense potential and face danger head-on. Similarly, Tsuna's deep sense of loyalty towards his friends compels him to constantly leap into action against the enemies of the Vangola family. He's even more protective of the loved ones that aren't part of the Mafia world. And finally, Jaden knows that he has to stake his life in Shadow Games because he's the one most capable of saving Duel Academy and the world. His carefree attitude towards dueling is overshadowed by a strong sense of responsibility. These motivations are crucial because they provide a believable reason for the reluctant hero to step up and take action. The characters I mentioned all transform their hesitation into a powerful drive to protect others. Now, I want to talk about the common pitfalls that one should avoid when writing this type of character. First, and probably the worst mistake one can make, is by having a reluctant hero who constantly complains and never grows. A character who constantly whines about their circumstances and shows no progression can quickly become frustrating for the audience. Their reluctance should be an initial hurdle, not a permanent state. However, on the other end of the spectrum, sudden changes and unrealistic growth can be equally as bad. When a character flips from fearful to fearless overnight, it can make their journey feel unearned and breaks immersion. The best thing to do would be to find a happy medium where you portray the character's growth realistically and over time. I mentioned it earlier, but Tsuna's journey spanned over countless arcs and literally hundreds of chapters. Through that journey, we saw him evolve from the no-good Tsuna who was constantly picked on, into one of the most badass protagonists in shonen history. And I feel like I need to address this because I'm sure someone will bring up the ending of Hitman Reborn. If you feel as though Tsuna's character did not change throughout the series, I urge you to reread the last chapter. I think the author made it very clear that the Tsuna in chapter 409 is far different from the Tsuna in chapter 1. And now onto my final point. The part that makes the reluctant hero's growth realistic are the setbacks along their journey. That there are repercussions to constantly having responsibility thrust upon oneself. One of the best depictions of this I've seen, not just in anime, but in most fiction, is none other than Jaden Yuki. He starts off the series as one of the most optimistic and bubbly shonen protagonists you can imagine. But as the series progresses and he repeatedly finds himself in life or death duels, the weight of these responsibilities begins to wear on him. By the end of the series, Jaden's cheerful demeanor had clearly dimmed, reflecting the heavy burden he's had to bear. His depression actually becomes a major plot point in the last few seasons of the anime. These repercussions add depth to the character's journey, making their triumphs all the better. The reluctant hero's trope offers a refreshing and relatable perspective on what it means to be a hero. Their stories remind us that it isn't just about fearlessness or strength, it's about overcoming our limitations and stepping up when it matters most. Whether it's Gohan's struggles between his peaceful nature and his duty to protect, Tsuna's journey from a self-doubting teenager to a confident leader, or Jaden's battle with the weight of responsibility, these characters show us that true heroism often comes from the most unexpected places. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of anime and manga. Until next time, peace.